everyone, Chef Yoda the dog here. As you can tell, it's December and I'm wearing my new winter Christmas sweater. It has a hood. The hood pulls back my eyes, so I look kind of freakish. So I hate the hood and I always try to shake it off, and it was really hard for Mom to get this picture. But this is me in the hood, so I look like a reindeer. I enjoy the sweater, just not the hood. Anywho, don't let my eyes scare you. I shook it off as soon as this video was over, and the hood is no longer on my head. So, Mom made some pork chops today from frozen that she got from Mountain Man Meat Market in Hochatown, Oklahoma, where they went for Thanksgiving. And they're very thick pork chops, so Mom's going to have to tell you how she handled that in this recipe, because the recipe was for pork chops that were probably thinner than these. These are huge, like massive. Anyway, so because of that, the first time it didn't work. So she used the Instapot from Frozen recipe, but used the flavoring for the Instapot pork chop recipe on allrecipes.com. So she's going to put a link to that flavoring recipe in the description box, but you need to listen to what she had to do if you have pork chops that are this thick. So normally you do 13 minutes on the pressure cooker, and then you do a slow release of 12 minutes, and then a quick release. So Mom did that, and they were not done. So then she did what the recipe says to do if you have thawed out your pork chops, which is 5 minutes in the pressure cooker. And then you do a slow release of anywhere from, or natural release of anywhere from 10 to 40 minutes, and then a quick release. So she did that, and then they were mostly done, but 2 of them were so thick that we still had to cook them in a pan on the stove just to make sure we weren't going to get food poisoning. So just so you know, if you have a really thick pork chop, that recipe is not long enough, and you will have to keep cooking it. Anywho, but they turned out great once they were all cooked up for sure, and Mom made some rice to go with them, and it was very good, and she made the droppings she made into a gravy, and that was also very good. So the flavorings are really good. You just have to make sure your pork chops are cooked all the way through, and if you have really thick ones, you just need to stick with it until they're completely done. All right, well, talk to you guys later. Happy Monday. Reindeer Yoda the dog out.
Hi everyone. As Yoda said, the Monday meal today is Instapot pork chops. We got these pork chops from Mountain Man Meat Market in their half price bin in Hochatown, Oklahoma over Thanksgiving break. So they're huge, you could tell. There's 4 of them in there. That's what this recipe calls for. And we got it from allrecipes.com, and I'll link to it below. But we are using kind of 2 of their recipes. So this one is the recipe for what's actually on the pork chops, and it's an Instapot pork chop recipe, but we're actually cooking them from frozen. So it's just going to be a little bit longer in the Instapot. So just pay attention to that difference. But these are frozen pork chops, and we have added 3 tablespoons of butter on top of each pork chop, see? And then a packet of French onion soup mix. I got that from Aldi, I think. So sprinkle that on top there. And then a cup of apple juice. I had this juiced apple cider. Somebody messed up on an Instacart order, and I got that instead of what I ordered. So we're using that, and it's down in there too, a cup of that. So we're going to put the lid on. Make sure it's on sealing, which it is. And then, it's also important to make sure that you plug in the Instapot. So, and then we're going to put it on manual. And they said if they're frozen, 13 minutes. If they're not frozen, 5 minutes. So just so you know. So 13 minutes. And then we're going to let it natural release for 12 minutes, then quick release the rest of the way. All right, it's already going. I'll show you the finished product. Okay, so I had to let it go for a while longer because these are huge. They're way thicker than the ones in the frozen recipes, so they were not done after that 13 minutes plus 12 minutes of a natural release. So I did what another recipe, Instapot recipe for pork chops said, which was if they're thawed, then you do 5 minutes and then 10 to 40 minutes of a natural release. So I did that, and now I think they're done. So if you have thicker pork chops like these are, which they're really thick. So if you have a thicker pork chop that you're putting in there frozen, I would try the frozen one of 13 minutes and then 12 minutes natural release and then a quick release. And if they're not done, check the temperature, cut into them, whatever you need to do. If they're not done, then I would switch and do another cycle that would be for something that's thawed out. So 5 more minutes on high pressure and then another 10 to 40 minutes of natural release. So that did it. So now I'm going to take these out, put some cornstarch in, and make a gravy out of the juices, and I'm making some rice to go with it. So that's what we're doing. Hope you guys have a great Monday.